This is KCUR 89.3, NPR in Kansas City. The pandemic has left many families struggling to put food on the table. It's an issue Renee Fletcher cared deeply about, spending more than a decade volunteering at food pantries before her death from the coronavirus. KCUR's Aviva Okeson-Haberman brings us this remembrance.
Renee Fletcher was a glamorous woman. She dressed to the nines and wouldn't leave her house without styling her hair, which used to be a stunning platinum blonde. In the 1950s, she was Miss KC Chamber of Commerce.
My mother, when she left the house, she had on her outfit, the jewelry to all match it.
That's Tracy Lowe, the youngest of Renee's 4 children. Renee was an involved stay-at-home mom, taking Tracy to ceramic classes with her.
She was a soccer mom before we knew what one was,
When Tracy was in high school, Renee decided to go back to work and got a job at the U.S. Department of Agriculture. She was active in her church, and in her retirement, she spent many hours volunteering at the Community Service League and Harvesters Food Drop. She had a big family, 10 grandchildren and 13 great-grandkids, so Christmas was a huge deal. Scott Hodson, one of Renee's relatives, says she was always on the hunt for stocking stuffers. Her favorite place was Harbor Freight Tools, a discount hardware store.
They advertise every day. If you come in, you get a free something. She would go to Harbor Freight every day to get her free thing.
She had drawers full of this stuff, measuring tapes, keychain flashlights, scissors, and every year she used them to fill stockings.
We called it the murder kit. It came with a tarp, a flashlight, like a tape measure, all these different things you could get at Harbor Freight.
On Saturday nights, Renee would host a penny poker game. Danny Hodson was in high school when he started attending. His grandma was Renee's cousin and lived with her.
You can just imagine the fun times that were had at poker with 2 old ladies, and there was always a rotating cast of who would be there.
Renee made it a point to always count up her pennies at the end of the game, joking that she needed them for her house payment. She was a bit nosy, an organized pack rat who always put others before herself. But she also could be secretive. Tracy didn't find out until much later in her life that her mom was adopted.
She could go through some crazy interrogation and not break because she had some good secrets.
Renee was a woman of steel. When she suffered from a pulmonary embolism this year, she had to be resuscitated 3 times.
So they told us she would be brain dead. Well, not her. No, she was not. She was not at all.
She somehow managed to recover. When the pandemic hit, Renee was careful. She watched the news all the time, and her daughter Lysoled the groceries. In late April, she started to feel weak and didn't have an appetite. Her doctor wasn't sure what was going on. She didn't have that awful cough or shortness of breath. Her daughter took Renee to St. Luke's. It was there that she got tested for the coronavirus.
I know when they told her that she had COVID, I knew she was going to die, and that just is hard too, because she was afraid of getting it.
She died May 3rd, one of more than 1,200 deaths in the Kansas City metro. Danny Hodson says each of those people has a story and a family left grieving.
Having someone so close to me pass so soon in the pandemic, it has completely shaped the way I've seen the commentary. To those people who say that I don't know someone who's died from it, you shouldn't have to know someone.
When Danny sees the long lines at food banks, he thinks of Renee and his grandma, who both gave so much of their time volunteering there.
If they were still here, they would be working even harder to give that food to the people who need it.
When Renee died, her family asked for food donations in her honor. Her neighbors and friends rallied together, donating granola bars, mac and cheese, and cereal, enough to fill a large truck. And Renee Fletcher was able to help feed families one last time. For KCUR 89.3, I'm Aviva Okeson-Haberman.